Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya al mursaleen. Muhammadin wa ahl bayt al-tayyibin al-tahirin al-ma'sumin. Sayyim al-imam al-muntadhar. Al-hujjatu thani ashar. Ruhi wa arwahul alamin liturabi maqdamihi al-fida. Amma ba'd. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Wal asr. Innal insana lafi khusr. إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر صدق الله العلي العظيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Inshallah, I hope everyone is well and everyone can hear me, inshallah, loud and clearly. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq that we benefit from the coming days of the month of Shahru Ramadan. The ayah of the Quran, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Wal Asr, Innal Insana Lafi Khusr, Illa Alladhina Amanu wa Amilu Salihat, wa Tawasaw bil Haqqi, wa Tawasaw bis Sabr. This is one of the short surahs of the Quran itself, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has taken an oath of time. Wal Asr, I swear by time. Innal Insana Lafi Khusr. That indeed people are in loss. Lafi Khusr. Illa alladhina, except those, amanu, number one, amanu wa amilu salihat, number two, that they perform amal salih, virtuous act, wa tawasaw bil haqq, third thing, that they gave each other advice and admonishment towards haqq. So illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihat, and they perform amal salih, virtuous acts, wa tawasaw bil haqq, and they enjoin each other, bab tafa'ul, that they enjoin each other towards haqq, wa tawasaw, and the last one, wa tawasaw bis sabr, that you admonish and advise each other with patience itself. Now, these are the acts of we as believers. As the holy month of Shahr Ramadan is approaching, make this holy month of Shahr Ramadan and regard it as the last Shahr Ramadan of your life. Many of our believing brothers and sisters, you may know, that who participated with us in the nights of Laylatul Qadr and who participated in the A'mal of Shahr Ramadan have no longer with us this year. And if we make this intention before the coming of Shahr Ramadan, inshallah, bifadl al-Khuda, we will be able to attain a station with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and approximate with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this great month of Shahr Ramadan. And even in the Quran, in Surah Dhariyat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned that this dhikr, this tadhkirah, is something we as human beings require. وَذَكِّرْ فَإِنَّ الذِّكْرَ تَنْفَعُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ فَذَكِّرْ فَإِنَّ الذِّكْرَ تَنْفَعُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Remind, and indeed the remindance is a means of benefit for the believer. So if we as human beings, as the month of Shahr Ramadan is approaching with great mercy and blessing, we require this. We require what? This advice, this encouragement, this momentum, this enthusiasm, and diffuse and infuse in each and every one this vibe that the great month of Shahr Ramadan is coming, and motivate and encourage everyone. We require this. This is in a human being's nature. And this is the reason why for many years, for several years, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam gave this khutbah, Ya ayyuhan nasu qad aqbala alaykum shahrullah. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, this khutbah which he delivered, he gave this many times. Why? And this khutbah of khutbah Sha'baniyah, which Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam delivered, he delivered it on not the beginning of Shahr Ramadan, on the first of Shahr Ramadan. When did he deliver this khutbah Sha'baniyah? He delivered this khutbah Sha'baniyah on the last Friday of Sha'ban itself, before Mahi Ramzan or the holy month of Ramadan approached. Why? The whole reason for this is that we mentally, physically are prepared for this great month. And that was the reason why Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam gave this khutbah before that on the last Friday, so that we have enough time to prepare for this holy month. Now, a question: how many of us have prepared ourselves for this great month of Shahru Ramadan? Many of us. I had a message recently from one of our students. She says to me, Sheikh, she may be listening, and it's also for her to reevaluate and understand how to reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. She messaged me and say, Sheikh, would you be teaching the philosophy of Mullah Sadra, Al-Asfar Al-Arba? Would you be teaching that so that we can become close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And I was laughing and smiling, and I did not know I had mercy on this, my student of mine. Of course, she studied, but she has stopped. What she has thought, that the great month of Shahr Ramadan has arrived, and she wants to study from me philosophy of Mullah Sadra itself. And of course, in our society, in our Muslim Ummah, there is philosophy, and this is one way, and the Sufis have their way approach of reaching Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Number one. Number two, the other approach which we have is the approach which the governments, the Muslim governments, have adopted for the people to reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because the governments always want a religion which is politically friendly for them. That is one, and they warp and they make the religion which is suiting them, and it gives their version or their diluted version of Islam, which will allow them to reach Allah. And of course, it doesn't reach Allah, it takes them somewhere else. And the third way ulama have mentioned is the way which the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam have given us. So there are three ways. One is the Sufis, one is the religion of the leaders. As you can see, look at the Muslim Ummah now. Look at the state of the Muslim Ummah. What is happening in Palestine? It is the doing of the Muslim themselves. They had left Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, and they had followed the first and the second, and this is the chastisement which they are getting, and the wrath which is upon them itself. If they had followed Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, we would have been the best of nations itself, the honorable nations which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has promised in the Quran. Inshallah, that day will come when Sahib al-Zaman Ajjal Ta'ala Faraj Sharif reappears. However, the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam have given us a course, a path to reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is that path? It is the path of the Quran itself. The Quran itself, it has been mentioned in Surah Isra, فيه شفاء ورحمة للمؤمنين. The Quran itself is a means of mercy. And this mercy of the Quran, this mercy in the Quran where it says that this is a mercy, what type of mercy is the Quran? Is it a mercy and a blessing for those who are deceased? The word shifa, normally, the word shifa, when we translate and we understand, we normally assume it refers to that a person who is ill and you get shifa from the Quran. No, brothers. The Quran itself is a mercy and a blessing and a cure for all sicknesses itself. Kullu maradin wa ilm. Every sickness, be it the spiritual sickness, be it the mental sickness, all sicknesses are cured by the barakah of the Quran itself. Even intellectual discourses and debates are cured. The cure lies within the Quran itself. And for this reason, we need to refer and follow the Quran as much as we can and recite the Quran as much as we can, so that we can benefit from this great ni'mat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and mu'jiza which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent to us. And the Quran also has mentioned, let me give you the ayah of the Quran so that you can write this down. This is verse number 82. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nunazzilu, nazzala, yunazzilu. Nunazzilu min al-Qur'ani ma huwa shifa'un wa rahmatun lil mu'mineen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have revealed the Quran, what is fihi, shifa, a cure, and a mercy for believers itself. And I will talk about certain surahs and things we need to do, how to develop good traits and to attach and cling ourselves with the Quran itself. Quran is a miracle of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is a living miracle which we are living with. And especially our youngsters and our mothers and sisters and grandmothers and brothers who are attending, brothers, try in this month, attach your children with the Quran itself. Because in it is shifa for them, and in it lies blessings of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Not by banging your head, oh Allah, who you see these people on TV, on these channels, these crazy nut people, and sometimes they jump on each other as well. And what are you doing? We're reaching Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How? Knocking your head left, right, and center. Who? I don't know where is Allah in this. So this is from the Quran, verse number Surah Isra, verse number 82, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said that nunazzilu min al-Qur'ani ma huwa shifa'un wa rahmatun lil mu'mineen. So this is ayah number 1. And the other ayah of the Quran, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned what the Quran does for us, how the Quran is a means of guiding us to the right path. It says, إن هذا القرآن يهدي للتي هي أقوم ويبشر المؤمنين الذين يعملون الصالحات أن لهم أجرا كبير. This is from Surah. This is from Surah Isra, verse number 9. Verse number 9. That surely inna hadha al-Qur'an, surely this Quran, Yahdi, Hada, Yahdi, which guides lillati hiya aqwam. The word aqwam here means that what is the most erect and straight towards guidance. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this ayah says, وَيُبَشِّرُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. We are giving good news. الَّذِينَ يَعْمَلُونَ. Those who are doing amal salih, virtuous acts, anna lahum ajran kabir. For them is a great reward. This is in regards to the Quran. And now the Quran has been revealed in which month? In the month of Shahru Ramadhan. And in the khutbah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam, he has mentioned qad ayyuhan nasu qad aqbala alaykum. O people, and the word aqbala, as I mentioned, has been used. That bil maghfirati wal bil maghfirati wal rahma. Now, this khutbah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it highlights the importance of this month itself. That we in this month need to prepare ourselves, because this is the month in which the Quran has been revealed, and this is not like any ordinary month. It is the month in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to show His mercy, forgiveness, and we have been regarded in this وَهُوَ شَهْرٌ دُعِيتُ إِلَىٰ ضِيَافَةِ اللَّهِ. And this is the month in which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has invited us to be His honorable guests. We are the honorable guests of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this month. And this is the month in which, I'm not going to read all the khutbah Sha'baniyah, I'm going to only read extracts. And then also it has been mentioned, وَمَنْ قَرَأَ آيَةً. Listen to this carefully, brothers. The word قَرَأَ يَقْرَأُ. وَمَنْ قَرَأَ آيَةً فِي رَمَضَانَ أَوْ صَبَّحَ كَانَ لَهُ مِنْ فَضْلٍ عَلَى غَيْرِهِ كَفَضْلِ على أمتي طوبى لمن أدرك رمضان من قرأ في. Now the translation, من قرأ آية, whoever recites an ayah from the Holy Quran in the month of Ramadan, oh, praises Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, min al-fadl, indeed he will be given a great reward. And then in Imam Muhammad Baqir alayhi salam says, لِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ رَبِيعٌ لِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ رَبِيعٌ. Saif is summer, Rabi'un is spring. لِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ رَبِيعٌ. Everything has a month of, or a season of spring, just before the month which comes before summer. What does it do? The flowers start blossoming, and all of the beauty, the nature itself, it starts looking more beautiful. As winter comes, everything, the leaves and the buds of the flowers, all of them disappear. But soon as spring comes, everything starts smelling fresh and beautiful again. And Imam Muhammad Baqir alayhi salam says, Inna likulli shayn rabiun. For everything is the month of spring. وَرَبِيعُ الْقُرْآنِ شَهْرُ Ramadan. And the spring of this holy book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is this great month of Shahru Ramadan. It's the month in which the Quran has been revealed, and it is the month in which whoever recites one ayah of the Quran, he will get the reward of reciting the whole Quran itself. The whole Quran. Now, let me tell you a story and then I'll continue. There was an alim, and he was speaking, and he was saying that he was traveling in the month of Shahr Ramadan, and the taxi driver who he was sitting with was speaking about the ahkam and the rulings of Shahr Ramadan, in the month of Shahr Ramadan. And the taxi driver says, Ya Sayyid, he was a Sayyid Maulana. He said, Ya Sayyid, I'm bichara. I'm very miserable. I'm not unfortunately fortunate, because I drive, I don't get opportunity to recite the Quran. You are lucky. You are able to recite the Quran, benefit from yourself from the Holy Quran. The Sayyid says, can you not read Inna anzalna fi laylatil qadr, Surah Qadr? He says, yes, Sayyid, I can recite it. Why don't you recite Surah Qadr? Because Bismillahir Rahmanir Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil qadr. How many ayahs is? Wama adraka ma laylatul qadr. How many ayahs is? 2 ayahs. And in a hadith of the khutbah of Rasulullah, it says, whoever recites one ayah of the Holy Quran in the month of Shahr Ramadan, every ayah is equivalent of reciting Holy Quran. This is the reward you will get by reciting one ayah of the Quran in the month of Shahr Ramadan. You may recite all of the Quran in other months, but you're getting the reward of one ayah. How much reward is at our disposal for us to receive itself? We are regarded the honorable guests of Allah subhanahu. As you know, that there's a wedding happening in India, and people are going, pop stars are going, all sorts of people are going, and what they're doing, they are getting VIP service. They are getting a private jet sent to them so that they go to India. They are getting a 5-star hotel for them. Why? Because they are going to the wedding of the most richest person in India itself to participate in his son's wedding itself. Baba, we are in the month of Shahr Ramadan. We are the honorable guests. Look, we cannot see, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put shaitan in shackles and has regarded us from the honorable guests of his. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to give in this month. It's we need to receive from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this great month of Shahr Ramadan. And I want to highlight on some important aspects, especially in regards to one particular surah. Okay, now this surah of the Quran is one of the short surahs of the Quran, Surah Ikhlas. Surah Al-Ikhlaas, importance of the Quran and attaching ourselves, developing traits and making ourselves a reciter of the Quran. Surah Ikhlas. I'm speaking about Ikhlas and the importance of Ikhlas, and inshallah take barakat and blessings of Surah Ikhlas in the month of Shahr Ramadan. When do we recite Qul Huwallahu Ahad? How often and when do we recite Qul Huwallahu Ahad? Majority of us. When someone dies, yes. When someone is dead, we say Fatiha, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Alhamdulillah, and then 3 quls, and that's it. Yes? That's the majority of time. That is the majority. The most we have recited Qul Huwallahu Ahad is 3 times. No more than 3 times. Yes, in our lives. Once, yes. But I'm going to give you a nuskha today, which will make you recite Qul Huwallahu Ahad more than 3 times than a Fatiha. Or maybe, inshallah, our sisters, when they put their children to bed, they give them, tell sons, children, my daughter, recite 3 Quls and recite the Ma'udhatain before you go to bed. This is it. No. Qul Huwallahu Ahad has more secrets than that. And that's what I want to share. And I want to encourage that make this year the year in which you create an attachment, a bond with the Quran. Make this your resolution. Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, I leave 2 weighty things, the Quran and the Ahlul Bayt. And this is the month of the Quran and the month of Mawla Ali alayhi salam. And inshallah, I'll talk about Mawla Ali in a few minutes. Let me recite now and give you encouragement in reciting Ikhlaas and the Quran in the month of Shahru Ramadan. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. An Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Qul huwallahu ahad. Man qara'aha marra. Qara'a thulth al-Quran. Whoever recites Surah Ikhlas once, he has recited 1/3 of the Quran. What is 1/3 of the Quran? How many surahs are that? How many juz? 10 juz. Yes? 1/3 of the Quran is 10 juz. And then it says, وَمَنْ قَرَأَهَا مَرَّتَيْنِ فَقَدْ قَرَأَ ثُلْثَيْ الْقُرْآنِ. And whoever recites the Surah Ikhlas twice, he has recited 2/3 of the Quran. How much is 2/3? 20 juz of the Quran. وَمَنْ قَرَأَهَا ثَلَاثًا فَقَدْ خَتَمَ الْقُرْآنِ. And whoever recites قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ 3 times, indeed he has recited the Quran. He has indeed received the reward as if he had recited the complete Quran. This is in regards to apart from the month of Shahr Ramadan. And of course, when you recite in the month of Shahr Ramadan 3 times Qul Huwallahu Ahad, you will receive great reward, because this is the month. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا لَيْلَةُ الْقَدْرِ. Laylatul Qadr khayrum min alfi shahr, 1,000 months. And this is the month in which our A'mal Saleh, A'mal, the reward for it is quadrupled. It's increased. Let me continue. Then another hadith, brothers. It says, in regards to Surah Ikhlas, and majority of us, and even in Jummah when I recited this today, they said we have not heard this fadail of Surah Ikhlas. Then it says, in the next hadith, Man qara'aha 50 marra ghafara Allahu dhanbahu 50 sana. Subhanallah. And whoever recites Surah Qul Huwallahu Ahad 50 times, ghafara Allahu dhanbahu, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive his 50 years of sins by the barakah of Surah Ikhlas itself. And this is the month of Shahr Ramadan. The reward will be increased. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says again in the hadith from the Ahlul Bayt, Man qara'aha mi'a marra kataballahu ibadata mi'a sana. Subhanallah. I'll read this again. Whoever recites Surah Ikhlas 100 times, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give him the reward of 100 years of worship. Man qara'aha mi'a marra kataballahu lahu ibadatan mi'a sana, 100 years. Then the hadith continues. Many of us like to do amal saleh for their marhumin and their parents. This is a nuskha for you, brothers. وَمَنْ قَرَأَهَا خَمْسَ مِئَ مَرَّةً. Whoever recites Qul Huwallahu Ahad, how many times? خَمْسَ مِئَ, 500 times. غَفَرَ اللَّهُ لَهُ وَلِوَالِدَيْهِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive his sins and the sins of his parents by the barakah of Surah Ikhlas. And then, this is a very important hadith which I'm going to mention now. وَمَنْ قَرَأَهَا أَلْفَ مَرَّةً. So many people are sitting at home or doing things. Get a tasbih. How many beads does a tasbih have? 99? Add extra 100 tasbih. You could do 100 tasbih of Qul Huwallahu Ahad and you will get a great reward. As I mentioned this hadith, one who recites 100 times, he will get the ibadat of 100 years. Let me recite this hadith now. This is a beautiful hadith, a beautiful hadith. وَمَنْ قَرَأَهَا أَلْفَ مَرَّةً. One who recites Surah Qul Huwallahu Ahad, how many times? 1,000 times. How many tasbih is 1,000? I know I've muted everyone, but speak as you're on mute. How many tasbih is 1,000? 1,000 tasbih, Surah Ikhlas, 10 tasbih, yes. How long does one tasbih of Qul Huwallah take? Does anyone know? It's roughly about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes maximum itself. 10 to 15 minutes maximum. 15 minutes, you could do a tasbih of Qul Huwallah in 15 minutes. So if you do 10 tasbihs, it says, Man qara'aha alfa marra faqad adda badlahu ila Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wa qad sara atikan minan nar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in reward of a person, yeah, I know, you could chat or you can message on the chat box. One who recites 1,000 times Qul Huwallahu Ahad, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in substitute of reciting 1,000 times, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make you faqad sara atikan. Atik means free from the atik means free slave. Atikun minan nar. You will be a free slave from the fire of Jahannam. And then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "I'lamu." This is a command, as you know Arabic. "I'lamu." Alima ya'lamu. "I'lamu anna khayra dunya wa khayra al-akhirah fi qira'atiha." Fi qira'atiha, O people, know, be aware that the goodness of this dunya and the akhirah is embedded in recitation of Surah Qul Huwallahu Ahad, Allahu Samad itself. This is the greatness of this short surah of the Quran itself. وهي النسخة إن الله يؤتي خير الدنيا والآخرة بقراءته. This, and of course reciting, and those brothers and sisters who are participating, indeed, wallahi, I'm saying this, that this is tawfiq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for you to participate in this gathering today, for you to be able to benefit from the barakat and the blessings of and the fadail of Surah Ikhlas itself. Many of us have never heard the fadail of Surah Ikhlas. And then this is another nuskha which I'm mentioning today. Qala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. He says, Inna man qara'aha qul huwallahu ahad ba'da salati sub mi'a marra ghafarat lahu dhunuba mi'a sana. One who recites qul huwallahu ahad 100 times after salati sub, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive his 100 years of sins. And then listen to this hadith. Man qara'aha mi'a marra a'adallahu min ash-shaytan. This is a good hadith, a beautiful hadith. Whoever recites this surah 100 marra, once, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will protect him from shaitan. Wa bari'un min an-nifaq. This surah will protect you from being a hypocrite. Surah Ikhlas. Wa harrama ala nar. Your bodies will be haram on, or the fire of hell will be haram on your bodies itself. وحرم على النار وكأنما قرأ القرآن 40 مرة. And then Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says about the importance, as you know, what is the importance and the significance of Surah Yasin? What is the Surah Yasin in the Shia and Ahadith of the Ahlul Bayt Muslim? What significance does it have? Yasin is the Quran. Yasin is the heart of the Quran. Everyone knows this. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that the Yasin is the heart of the Quran. In regards to Surah Ikhlas, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, لِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ نُورٌ. Everything has a light, a nur. وَنُورُ الْقُرْآنِ وَنُورُ الْقُرْآنِ قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. The nur of the Quran, subhanallah. The nur of the Quran is قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ is the nur of the Quran. And what did more? Now I'm going to say something to join this with the Ahlul Bayt al-Muslim. What did Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam say about Imam Ali alayhi salam? Does anyone know? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that لِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ نُور وَنُورُ الْقُرْآنِ قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ. And Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has given the resemblance of Mawla Ali alayhi salam, the resemblance of Qul huwallahu ahad. Let me recite this hadith. Salman Farsi narrates this hadith in Bihar al-Anwar. سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم يقول لعلي عليه السلام يا أبا الحسن مثلك Ali, आपकी मिसाल इस उम्मत में इस तरह है जिस तरह मिसाल कुल हुवल्लाहु अहद की है. Oh Ali, your example in my ummah is the example of Surah Qul Huwallahu Ahad. What does that mean? Mawla Ali alayhi salam being resembled to Qul Huwallahu Ahad. What does this mean? Let me answer the question. فَمَنْ قَرَأَهَا مَرَّةً فَقَدْ قَرَأَ ثُلْثَ الْقُرْآنِ. One who recites Qul Huwallahu Ahad, he gets a reward of 1/3 of the Quran. وَمَنْ قَرَأَهَا مَرَّتَيْنِ, you will get the reward of 2/3 of the Quran. وَمَنْ قَرَأَ ثَلَاثَ مَرَّات, you will get the reward فَقَدْ خَتَمَ الْقُرْآنِ كُلَّهُ. You will get the reward of reciting the whole Quran. How does this resemble to Imam Ali alayhi salam? Now the answer comes. فَمَنْ Ya Abul Hasan, Ya Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salam. This is the month of Imam Ali alayhi salam. This is the month of Imam Ali alayhi salam. What does it say? فَمَنْ أَحَبَّكَ. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, فَمَنْ أَحَبَّكَ. Whoever loves you, bilisanihi, by his thing, فَقَدْ كَمُلَ ثُلْثَ الْإِيمَانِ. O Ali, one who loves you by his tongue, indeed he has perfected 1/3 of his iman. وَمَنْ أَحَبَّكَ بِلِسَانِهِ فَقَدْ كَمُلَ ثُلْثَ الْإِيمَانِ. So one who loves Imam Ali alayhi salam says, Ya Ali Madad, Haidar. 1/3 of iman has been perfected. وَمَنْ أَحَبَّكَ بِلِسَانِهِ, and whoever loves Mawla Ali alayhi salam بِلِسَانِهِ وَقَلْبِهِ فَقَدْ كَمُلَ لَهُ ثُلْثَ iman. And one who loves Imam Ali and shows his love by his tongue and his heart, he has perfected 2/3 of his iman. I'll read this hadith again. فَمَنْ أَحَبَّكَ بِلِسَانِ وَقَلْبِ, by the lisan and his heart. When you say Ya Ali Madad, Nara Haidari, we say Ya Ali Madad. You see a blossoming face, a smiling face, showing that his heart has the love of Mawla Ali alayhi salam. He has indeed perfected 2/3 of his iman. And then the hadith continues. وَمَنْ أَحَبَّكَ بِلِسَانِهِ وَقَلْبِهِ وَمَنْ أَحَبَّ بِلِسَانِهِ وَقَلْبِهِ وَنَصَرَكَ بِيَدِهِ فَقَدْ إِسْتَكْمَلَ الْإِيمَانِ. Then this hadith of Mawla Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, O Ali, whoever loves you by his tongue, by his heart, and by his hand and his fist, indeed he has perfected his iman. Indeed he has perfected his iman. وَالَّذِي بَعَثٍ بِالْحَقِّ نَبِيًّا. I swear by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one who has sent me. Ya Ali, subhanallah. O Ali, لولا أحبك أهل الأرض كمحبة أهل السماء. Subhanallah. O Ali, if the people of the earth loved you like the people of the heavens love you, لما أذب أحدا بالنار. Subhanallah. O Ali, if the people, let me read this hadith again. O Ali, if people loved you, I swear by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, O Ali, that if people loved you like the people of the heavens love you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not chastise anyone. It says, Lama azaba ahadun minan nar. He will not chastise anyone. Wa ana akrahu qul huwallahu ahad yawma thalatha marrat. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam say, Oh Ali, I recite qul huwallahu ahad 3 times every day itself. فقام كأنه. And this is the seerat of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And there are many other fadail of Surah Ikhlas, and one who does not recite Surah Ikhlas throughout the month of Shahr Ramadan and daily, he will not be blessed to die on the path of on the Mu'mmat and the Sirat of the Ahlul Bayt al-Muslim. And then even in a hadith is mentioned that in Surah Ikhlas, whoever recites Surah Ikhlas, he will never see poverty itself. This is the barakat of Surah Ikhlas, which is one short surah of the Quran, let alone the remaining Quran itself. And also, Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam has said, Ana nuqtatu taht al-ba'i. I am the dot underneath the Quran. I am the dot underneath Ba'ul Bismillah. This is the attachment of the Quran with Mawla Ali alayhi salam. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says that everything has a heart, and the heart of the Quran is Surah Ikhlas. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Ya Ali, mathaluka fi ummati, only your resemblance in my ummah is the resemblance of Surah Ikhlas itself. The nur, Surah Ikhlas is the nur of the Quran, and Mawla Ali alayhi salam is Nurullah. He is a nur of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He is a nur which has been extracted from the nur of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This Ali is with the Quran, and the Quran is with Ali. لَن يَفْتَرِقَ. They will never depart each other. And in this month, mentioning the fadail of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, and mentioning and reciting the Quran is the great ibadat which we can benefit ourselves and change our fortunes, our misfortunes into fortunes by the barakah of the Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam and the Quran itself. As Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has said, Inni tarikun fikum al-thaqalain. I leave two weighty things, Kitabullahi wa itrati. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us a tawfiq that in this month, brothers and sisters, try to recite as much Quran, even our children now. Everyone can recite Qul Huwallah. Everyone can recite Qul Huwallahu Ahad Allahu Samad. Give them tasbeehs in the hands and make this a custom in the houses that you have the Quran recitation on. As the Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, make your Quran, make your houses. What does it say? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam say, make your houses in the places of Nur of Allah. Don't make your houses graveyards. As Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, some houses are graveyards. Why? Because there is no recitation of the Quran. Houses become graveyards when there's no recitation of Quran. Houses become misbahul nur, lanterns of light, when Quran recitation is happening, and the barakat of mercy and blessings will come to our houses. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq that from this great month of Shahr Ramadan, which is approaching in a few days, that we can benefit ourselves, and give us tawfiq that, Ya Allah, if this is going to be the last year of our lives, make this Shahr Ramadan the best Shahr Ramadan of our lives. And as you know, that the first of Shahr Ramadan, for some people, the first of Shahr Ramadan and the last of Shahr Ramadan holds no difference itself. But for us, the lovers of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam, the first of Shahr Ramadan should be more of celebration than the last of Shahr Ramadan. I get phone calls. I get more phone calls for Eid itself. Wallah, when is Eid? Rather than the first of Shahr Ramadan. This is our society. They are more into partying than enjoying the ibadat and the blessing of Shahr Ramadan. We don't understand. There's a hadith from the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam where they have mentioned that if people knew, from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam say, "Law ya'lamul ibadu, law ya'lamul ibadu, abd ibad plural, law ya'lamul ibadu ma fi Ramadan." If people knew what is in the month of Ramadan, the secret of Ramadan, la tamannat, तमन्ना करेंगे. अगर लोग जानते हैं कि माह रमज़ान क्या फजीलत, क्या बरकत है, ला तमन्नत, वो बिल यकीन तमन्ना करेंगे एन यकून रमज़ान सना, वो ख्वाहिश और तमन्ना करेंगे, या अल्लाह, या हमारे परवरदिगार, कि पूरा साल माह रमज़ान का महीना. We don't see the barakat. لو علمتم ما لكم في رمضان لزدتم Lillahi shukra, subhanallah. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, alimtu, if you knew, ma lakum, what is for you in the month of Ramadan, la zidtum, indeed you will increase your shukr to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for him to bless us another tawfiq of Shahr Ramadan. Shahr Ramadan is a month of renewing our spiritual, our MOT for our body and soul itself. And this is a free of charge. Normally in UK, we pay about £45 for MOT for a car. You're getting a free of charge MOT from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, giving you complimentary to you. Complimentary to everyone. The only thing you need to do is al-wara'u min maharimillah. Al-wara'u min maharimillah. Brothers, just protect yourself in this month from committing any sins. Just protect yourself, and the rest leave to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inshallah, you will receive the barakat. And try, brothers, from the first of Shahr Ramadan. Inshallah, those sisters who want to recite, inshallah, I will try to arrange for you. On the first, how many times do we normally recite Surah, Dua Joshan Kabir? How many times do we normally recite? Does anyone remember? Normally, our idaras, big idaras, we alhamdulillah recite 4 times. Normally, in the majority of idaras, you recite Dua Joshan Kabir on the 19th, 21st, and the 23rd, 3 nights. But let me add something. Can I request something? I want you, brothers and sisters, this year to participate in those gatherings who are recite Dua Joshan Kabir is mustahab to recite also on the 1st of Mahr Ramzan. Inshallah, for those sisters, I will try to arrange this year again, like we did before, on the 1st of Shahr Ramadan, to have a Dua Joshan Kabir program for the sister to participate, and those who want to recite can recite. Inshallah, in our Husainiya, we will recite Dua Joshan Kabir. The first night of Shahr Ramadan is a great night of importance. This is the night when Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam, in those who have a Sahifa Sajjadiya, there is a complete dua for the coming of Shahr Ramadan. He says in which the importance of Shahr Ramadan and the greatness. Try to prepare yourself, take the ghusl, the first ghusl of Shahr Ramadan on the 1st of Shahr Ramadan, and also give sadaqah for Sahib al-Zaman and for yourself, and also give, make an intention of that, Ya Allah, that I will fast for all of 30 days of Shahr Ramadan, and recite. And there's many other amal which are in the Mafatul Janan and other books. Do these amal, so that we can achieve the great blessings of this great month of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As you know, this is the month. There are many other blessings. Inshallah, we'll talk in the next lecture about the names and the blessings of Shahr Ramadan, the next lecture. But this was just a preliminary that I want have a mindset for everyone that you need to prepare yourselves for recitation of the Quran, because in this month, recitation of the Quran holds great importance and great reward. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the opportunity that we can spend time in our local idaras and mosques as well, because these are the places, brothers. I want everyone this year, if you're not able to, but try this year, go to your local Husainiyas, because the local Husainiyas, they are the places closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Masajid are the place of Allah. They are more spiritual. And the blessings, and the other thing is that when we do collective ibadah, if there are 40 people in one gathering, if I was asleep, half of the Dua Joshan Kabir, the remaining people who are awake, if one dua, one Shia, one mu'min is accepted, by the barakah of his dua being accepted, all our du'as are accepted by the barakah of that mu'min. This is the effect of collective gathering. Energy is spread and dispersed when 40 mu'minin are gathering from each other. Each and everyone require energy. We are magnetics. We have this energy, electric energy, which we give to each other when we gather. And that's the reason why when we are in a gathering, we feel much more spiritual, and we feel this uplift, and our hearts get this uplift and its energy. It's like, I'll give you an example to brothers. Shahr Ramadan is a battery charge. It's like a jump lead, that if your batteries are low, put the jump leads on, and your battery gets energy. Shahr Ramadan, and we mu'mineen can give energy to each other's itself. As Surah Asr has said, وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. Right, I'm more than happy to take any questions from yourself because everyone's mic are now able to be unmuted. Any questions or anything you would like to say? Yes.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaykum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Yeah, actually, I want to know that how many times reading Surah Qul Huwallahu Ahad, and what is the reward of that? I forgot to write it.
Okay, I'll
So
send you.
let's see.
There's so many ahadith about the fadail of. I will send it in the group message. Send the message in the group, and I'll send it in each group the fadail of Qul Huwallahu Ahad, so that you can benefit, and even our children. And I want everyone, especially our mothers and sisters, please, please. I myself, as a youngster, I became a Maulana only by the barakah of the Quran itself. I was living in a remote area where there's a majority of the Ahlul Sunnah, no Shias apart from a few families. For me, the Quran was the means of spirituality. It was the means of healing and spiritual development for me. The Quran was the hadi. It mentioned ahadith of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam that make your Quran recite, make your children recite the Quran, because by reciting the Quran will become part of the bloodstream of your children. When the Quran becomes part of your bloodstream of your children, they will have a insulin of the Quran of taqwa within them. It will protect them from the waswa of shaitan itself. So
Sure.
make our children recite Qul Huwallahu Ahad, Allahu Samad, and Surah Inna Anzalna fi Laylatul Qadr. So
Yeah, three times is one whole Quran,
yes, one whole
and
Quran.
50,
I'll send you
50
it. It's a
times
long
is
list. It's a long list. I spent 15 minutes,
sure,
20 minutes on reciting the Fazail of
sure,
Surah Al-Ikhlas.
sure. But just send me it. How many times to read and what is the reward of that? That's
Okay,
it.
so the first one is that whoever recites Kul Huwallah once, he will get the reward of reciting
One
one-third
whole.
of the Quran.
Yeah.
One who recites Kul Huwallah 2 times, he will get the reward of reciting 2/3, which is 20 juz. One who recites 3 times Kul Huwallah, you will get the reward of reciting Kul Huwallah, reciting the complete Quran itself. So this is the basic. And then if you increase it to 50 times, 100 times, 500 times,
Yeah,
200
that's what.
times, and 50 times, the reward increases, and the barakat in your lives will increase as well by the barakah of Surah Ikhlas. And then Mawla Ali alayhi salam, by the hadith of Rasulullah, has been given the resemblance in this ummah of Qul Huwallahu Ahad.
Sure.
Jazakallah.
Okay.
You are
Thank you so much.
Any other question from anyone? Anyone else? Thank you, Sister Shamim, for your message. Thank you, Sister Shazia. iPhone. Brother Imran, Shazia, Doctor. Any other questions? Anyone who likes recite the Quran as much as you can, and inshallah, I'll try to share with you other ayat and surahs of the Quran in the month of Shahr Ramadan, so that you take maximum benefit from them. I'll give you an example. Sometimes in our communities, I see this as well. You know, in these superstores, when they say buy one, get one free, or special Shahr Ramadan promotion, it's hilarious. Sometimes you see people filling their trolleys with rice, or you name it. When the price of rice is from 10 kilo rice, 13 pound, people, Asian people, and people go and fill their trolleys, and it says free, only 3 packets per person. What happens? The son goes, the mother goes, the grandfather goes. Everyone has a trolley. Why? Because it's cheap. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the month of Shahr Ramadan is offering you the great blessings, and enjoy these blessings of Shahr Ramadan. Enjoy it, because there's no month like Shahr Ramadan itself. Shahr Ramadan, Ramadan is one of the attributes of Allah subhanahu, one of the names of Allah subhanahu, and that's the reason why we cannot say the word Ramadan by itself. If you say Ramadan, you have to give a kafara, because Ramadan is one of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jazakallah. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Inshallah, I will try to give you, we as humans, we require this, and that's the reason why I actually